In the heart of a bustling city, where skyscrapers rose like giants of glass and steel, lived Sophia, a 32-year-old woman whose determination was as strong as the concrete supporting those imposing structures. With her hair always tied in an unassuming bun and green eyes that shone with a mix of ambition and kindness, Sophia was the living portrait of perseverance. From a very young age, she learned that nothing in life came for free. The daughter of hard-working parents, she grew up watching her family struggle to pay the bills and ensure a decent education for her and her siblings. This reality shaped her character, making her value every opportunity and every penny earned with the sweat of her labor. At 18, Sophia started working as a waitress to pay for her studies at the local college. Her nights were spent among the tables of a busy restaurant, while her days were filled with classes and endless hours in the library. While her peers enjoyed university life, she barely had time to breathe, but she never complained. For Sophia, every challenge was a step towards her dream of becoming a successful executive. It was at that time that she met Alexander, the heir to one of the wealthiest families in the city. Tall, with perfectly styled hair and a smile that seemed straight out of a toothpaste commercial, Alexander was the embodiment of someone who grew up amidst privileges. He was studying business at the same university as Sophia, but their life experiences could not have been more different. Alexander grew up in a mansion on the outskirts of the city, with gardens so vast they seemed like parks and a garage full of sports cars that he swapped out like changing clothes. From a young age, he was taught that the world was there to serve him. His father, a business tycoon, always told him that the family name would open all doors, and Alexander took this lesson to heart. When his eyes landed on Sophia for the first time, at a campus party she only attended because her friend insisted she needed to live a little, Alexander saw a challenge. Accustomed to having all the girls at his feet, he approached with the confidence of someone who had never heard a no. "Hey, beautiful, can I buy you a drink?" he asked, his million-dollar smile in place. Sophia, exhausted after a long day of classes and work, just raised an eyebrow. "Thanks, but I can pay for my own drink." Intrigued by the refusal, Alexander insisted. In the days that followed, he, coincidentally, appeared in places Sophia frequented, always with a new invitation or an expensive gift. To him, it was only a matter of time before she gave in, like all the others. But Sophia was not like the others. Each grand gesture from Alexander only served to highlight the chasm between their worlds. While he talked about trips to Paris and parties on yachts, she worried about how to pay next month's rent. The final straw came when, after weeks of frustrated attempts, Alexander cornered her at the library exit. With a bouquet of expensive roses in one hand and the keys to a sports car in the other, he made his final proposal. "Come on, Sophia, give it a chance. I can give you everything you've always dreamed of. Designer clothes, trips. Just say yes." It was at that moment that Sophia, tired not only physically but emotionally, looked into Alexander's eyes and said the words that would mark him for years. "Alexander, you have everything, but it seems you don't value anything. Maybe one day you'll realize that what truly matters cannot be inherited or bought. You can have the world at your feet, but you'll never have what truly counts as long as you think everything has a price. Life is more than material possessions. It's about growth, overcoming challenges, and making a difference. When you understand this, maybe you'll find what you're looking for." With those words, she walked away, leaving Alexander speechless, holding his expensive roses. Years passed. Sophia graduated with honors, always balancing studies and work. Her professional journey was marked by challenges and achievements. She started as an intern at a small marketing company, where her work ethic and creativity quickly set her apart. Over time, she climbed the ranks, always learning and always improving. At 28 years old, Sophia was already a respected professional in the field. Her experience in managing teams and complex projects made her a valuable candidate for any company. It was then that an opportunity arose that could change her life, a senior manager position at one of the largest corporations in the country. The selection process was rigorous, interviews, tests, presentations. Sophia faced each stage with the same determination that had guided her throughout her life. Finally, the day came for the final interview with the company's president himself. Sophia entered the meeting room on the top floor of the imposing corporate building, her heart pounding but her demeanor confident. The view of the city below was breathtaking, but nothing prepared her for the shock she felt upon seeing the man sitting at the table. There, in an impeccable suit and with an air of seriousness she would never have associated with him, was Alexander. The same Alexander she had rejected years ago. For a moment, Sophia felt the ground disappear beneath her feet. 1,000 thoughts passed through her mind in a matter of seconds. Would he recognize her? Would this affect her chances? To her surprise, Alexander greeted her cordially, showing no sign of recognition. Sophia felt a wave of confusion and hesitation. Should she reveal they had met in the past? On one hand, she knew it could influence her evaluation, especially considering that during college, the two had not gotten along. On the other hand, she feared that maintaining silence might seem dishonest if he eventually remembered. The doubt weighed on her mind, but Sophia decided to focus on the present. The interview proceeded professionally, with challenging questions about management, strategy, and leadership. Sophia answered confidently, impressed by the depth of the questions and Alexander's insight. When the interview ended, Sophia shook Alexander's hand, bidding farewell with a professional smile, while he thanked her for participating. As she left the room, she realized he hadn't remembered her, or at least hadn't given any indication of it. The question lingering in her mind was this good or bad? On one hand, it meant she could build a new professional relationship without any residue from the past. On the other hand, the uncertainty of how the past might surface and impact her future left her uneasy. The following days were marked by a mix of anticipation and apprehension as she awaited a response from the company. Each notification on her phone made her heart race, and the wait seemed endless. Days later, Sophia received the news she had gotten the job. A mix of emotions overcame her. Joy for the achievement, pride for having come this far, but also apprehension. Working directly with Alexander after everything that happened seemed like an extra challenge she hadn't foreseen. Her first day at the company was a roller coaster of emotions. The building was impressive, with state-of-the-art technology and a design that screamed success. Sophia had already mentally prepared herself to work with Alexander, a man she knew as arrogant and spoiled from college days. However, on the very first day, she was surprised to find an Alexander completely different from what she imagined. He was professional, attentive, and showed an unexpected humility. Sophia was introduced to her team, a diverse group of talented professionals who welcomed her warmly, but her biggest surprise was realizing that working with Alexander might not be the challenge she so feared. As the weeks passed, Sophia observed Alexander with curiosity. He arrived early every day, often before any other employee. His meetings were objective and productive, and he displayed a deep knowledge of every sector of the company. What surprised Sophia most was how Alexander treated the employees. From the cleaning staff to the top executives, everyone was treated with the same respect and consideration. He knew everyone's names, asked about their families, and genuinely cared about the team's well-being. On one occasion, Sophia witnessed Alexander cancel an important meeting with investors to accompany an employee to the hospital when his wife went into emergency labor. Gestures like this were frequent and unexpected considering the image she had of him. The change was so drastic that Sophia began to doubt her own memories. Could it be possible that she had judged Alexander so wrongly in the past? Or had he really changed that much? The answer began to take shape during a crucial project. The company was about to launch a new product that could revolutionize the market. The teams worked day and night, and the pressure was intense. It was during one of those late-night work sessions that Sophia found Alexander in the kitchen, making coffee for the whole team. "You don't have to do this, you know," she said, surprising herself by starting a personal conversation. Alexander smiled, a tired but genuine smile. Actually, I need to. It's the least I can do for a team that's giving their all. At that moment, Sophia saw a vulnerability in his eyes that she had never noticed before. She decided it was time to address the elephant in the room. Alexander, I need to tell you something. We met years ago in college. I am the girl who gave me the most important lesson of my life, he completed, surprising her. I remember you, Sophia. From the moment you walked into my office for the interview. Sophia was speechless. Alexander continued. I didn't mention anything because I wanted you to judge me for who I am now, not who I was. Your words that day, they haunted me for years. At first I was angry. I couldn't understand how someone could reject me. But then, life began to teach me some hard lessons. Alexander paused, his eyes lost in distant memories. In the last year of college, I failed a crucial subject. For the first time in my life, something wasn't resolved with a call from my father or a check. I watched my friends graduate, move on with their lives, while I was left behind. It was a reality check. He continued, his voice filled with emotion. After that, even my father, who always spoiled me, decided it was time for me to learn the value of hard work. He put me to work on the factory floor of one of our companies. I spent months carrying boxes, operating machines, seeing up close the reality of the workers I had always ignored. It was transformative. Sophia listened intently, seeing for the first time the man behind the facade of the successful company president. Over time, I began to understand what you meant that day. I realized that everything I had was empty if it wasn't earned, if it didn't have a greater purpose. I decided that I wanted to be someone I could be proud of, not just the spoiled heir everyone expected me to be. Alexander looked directly into Sophia's eyes. When I took the position of president, it wasn't a gift from my father. It was the result of years of hard work, constant learning, and a genuine passion for what we do here. Every day is an opportunity to prove, not to others but to myself, that I can make a difference. Sophia felt a wave of emotions wash over her. Admiration, respect. Alexander, I don't know what to say. Your transformation is incredible. He smiled, a sincere and humble smile. You don't need to say anything. Your words from that day were the catalyst I needed. You showed me a truth I wasn't ready to see, and I'm eternally grateful for that. At that moment, something changed between them. It wasn't romance or attraction, but a deep mutual respect, and the understanding that both had grown and evolved over the years. In the months that followed, Sophia and Alexander formed an extraordinary professional partnership. Their different perspectives and experiences complemented each other perfectly, leading the company to new heights of success. Sophia, for her part, discovered that her own journey of growth was far from over. The experience with Alexander taught her to never judge a book by its cover, and that people have a surprising capacity for change and growth. One afternoon, while watching the sunset from the meeting room where it all began, Alexander turned to Sophia. You know, you were right that day. What truly matters cannot be inherited or bought. It is built day by day with every choice we make, every person we help, every obstacle we overcome. Sophia smiled, feeling a deep gratitude for the journey that had brought them here. And thank you for showing me that it's never too late to start over, to be better. From a casual meeting in college to a professional partnership based on respect and values that both now shared, their stories intertwined in a way neither could have predicted. The final lesson was clear. Life is not about where we start, but about the journey we choose to take and the people we impact along the way. Alexander understood that, more than words, it was his actions that would demonstrate who he had truly become. He chose to show his transformation through consistent gestures and choices, rather than trying to convince Sophia with explanations. And sometimes, the right words at the right time can change not just a life, but it's the acts that create waves of transformation that extend far beyond what we can see. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a comment with a rating from 1 to 5 to show how much you liked it. Also, watch the video that is now appearing on your screen. See you soon.